Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is LaDonna. I'm a homeschooling mom of two, and on my channel I just like to share what we're learning, how we're growing, and what God is doing in our lives. I'm really excited about today's video. Today's video is part of a collaboration with my very special friend Kristen. She is over at My Cathedral Garden. I'm going to link her YouTube channel down in the description box. If you have not checked out her channel, I would highly encourage you to check out her channel. Kristen was my very first YouTube friend, and we have been able to form a connection thanks to this media space, and I'm so thankful for her. I also learn a lot from her. She is very genuine, open, and honest about her homeschool journey as a mother and an educator. I also learn a lot from her, and I have actually applied some of her methods within our homeschool. So I would encourage you to check her out. You are not going to regret it. Okay, so today for our collaboration, we are just giving you a 6-week update. We did not exactly start at the same time. However, we have schooled enough and we can give you an update. So I've got my list right here. I may be looking down from the camera, but don't worry, it's just because I don't want to miss anything. The very first thing I want to talk to you about is our morning basket. Now I have my morning basket right here. For those of you who are new, we do our morning basket every day on Fridays. It does look a little bit different. I'm not going to talk about everything that's in our morning basket. I'm just going to give a quick overview and then point out what I do want to talk about. So I've got our morning menus right here. And basically this is where we do our calendar time, our memory verse, we've got some life skills, and we also do a hymn study. I have our book right here. This is fantastic. I love this. We are only 6 weeks into the school year, and if you do not have this resource, I would encourage you to get it. If you are doing a hymn study, it is incredible. I'm already thinking about who I can give this to as Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, so I just wanted to throw that in here. The next thing that is in our morning basket, we use the Simply Charlotte Mason Laying Down Rails, and we have book 1 and book 2. This is laying down the rails for children. We are still only on our first habit, and y'all, I love it. It is very simple, it is short, it provides great discussion, and I'm really glad that I invested in this because I don't think without the prompts we would necessarily be having the conversations that we are having. If you're interested about the habits that we're working on this year, I would encourage you to check out our morning basket video. Our prayer journals are also in here. I have 2 for each of my kiddos. Like I said, at first they weren't crazy about this. They have definitely come around, and I love, love, love how when we start our homeschool day, I ask them about their prayer request, and they are able to precisely talk to me about their prayer requests. So this has been a great tool. We are loving our Books of the Bible cards by the Daily Grace Co. We are working through the Old Testament right now, so that's really all I have to say about that. We also have our Attributes of God cards. We focus on 1 attribute a week, and it is short and simple, and I really do love how the Lord provides opportunities throughout the day for me to go back to the attribute that we're talking on. So I really do love these. The next thing that we have in our morning basket, we have the whole set. I think there are like 8 or 9. I should have got the box. I didn't, but this is book 2, so this should tell you how well it's going. We've already completed book 1. This is the answer book for kids. This is volume 2. This book has 22 questions from kids on dinosaurs and the flood of Noah. And look, my son and my daughter love this. They look forward to this every single day. I think that this is very appropriate for them. I love that the questions are from kids. I love that the questions are for kids and they are on their level. You know, they're real questions. It's real curiosity around these topics, and I really do love it. Okay, I have our Bible study books right here. I don't want to get on that for a minute. What I want to talk to you now, oh man, I don't have it. I wish I'd have grabbed it. Our read aloud. Our current read aloud right now is All of a Kind Family. We just started this. We're on chapter 2. We have already read through, I wish I'd have grabbed the books. We've read through The Year of Miss Agnes, My Side of the Mountain, and The Journey of Edward Tulane. I think that's what it's called. I should have grabbed those books. I think that, I'm holding my fingers up. I'm going to have to go grab them. Okay, I couldn't help it. I had to go grab them. This book, you guys heard me talk about this in our first update. I'm not going to go into much detail, but we loved it. These are the other two books that we have read, and we have loved both of these. However, what I do want to insert for these books is My Side of the Mountain is beautiful. Just the way it is written and the experience. You know, someone said that they should have made this into a movie. I think I disagree with that because it would be kind of boring if it was a movie. They would definitely have to take a liberty with the storyline to keep your attention because it's basically his experience in the wilderness and all of the different things that he did to survive. Now, I don't even know how to say this or to address it. It's kind of strange, and not that there was any kind of intention, but there was a part in the book where he meets a friend, and you know, he's a little boy, and he's just talking about how he liked the boy. Well, I knew what he was referencing. However, I just really wasn't that comfortable reading that, so I kind of switched it up. I know that that probably sounds crazy. I really can't tell you where it was in the book. It was toward the end. You know, this is why I think that words are really important. We can't be vague. So I just felt like there could have been a little bit more of an explanation. But again, this was from the perspective of a little boy. So I just kind of switched it up a little bit, if I'm allowed to do that. So I don't know. That kind of thing might not bother you. It did kind of bother me. But this was still a really great book. We all loved it. Okay, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Y'all, we read this book in like 7 days. It is a very easy read. I believe that it is recommended, it doesn't say on here. It is recommended for elementary students, but this is a great story. We loved it. It is, you know, just basically about a rabbit. He is a toy, and you know, his perspective on life is just not what it should be. So the story is all about how his perspective changes. There is one thing that I want to say about this. Before his life starts to dramatically change, he is the toy of a little girl. And one night for bedtime, her grandmother was tucking her in and telling her a story. And the story is kind of strange. And basically what happens in the story, there's this princess, and then she's not a nice princess, and then she gets eaten by a bunch of hogs. I found that kind of weird. However, it has purpose. But if that's something that would scare your children, if you have sensitive children, I would really encourage you to think about that. However, the overall story was really, really great. We all loved it. We all loved what we took away from the story and what happened at the end. Overall, despite the really strange bedtime story, it was a really good book. Now, like I said, we're currently reading All of a Kind Family. We're only 2 chapters in, and it's already super cute, so I'm excited. Okay, now I want to talk about our Bible. This is what we're using for Bible right now. And what I want to say about this, these are not devotions, right? Like, the whole purpose of this book and the books that are made for adults is to take you through all of Scripture from Genesis to Revelation. Now, that sounds really great. However, if you have young children and you're discussing Jacob and how he loved Rachel and how Rachel's dad tricked him into marrying Leah first, that's a really strange and hard conversation. Or if you're talking about when Abraham had to sacrifice his son Isaac, you know, that's a really strange conversation. So what I want to say about this is, you know your children best. If your children are ready for this, then I would encourage you to do this. But if they are not, then don't. Like, you know, circumcision is discussed because, you know, that was the sign of the covenant. So if that's not a conversation you want to have with your kiddos, then definitely think about this, investigate it before you just jump in. I know several of you had said that you were going to look into this. You were going to look into this, or you were going to buy it. If you have bought it and you've gotten into it and you're discouraged, don't get rid of it yet. Just hold on to it. If you were on the fence, now you know, think about it. But I just kind of wanted to put that in here. For those of you who have younger children, the topics that are discussed may not be appropriate for the age of your kiddo. So anyway, just wanted to put that in here. My favorite part is when my children get their Bible and they read the verses and then we have a discussion about it. We're 6 weeks into it, so I'll have more to say about it when we're 12 weeks into it. But I just wanted to insert this if you were thinking about it. Okay, moving on to English and math. There's really not a whole lot that I can say about English or math. For English 4, this is for my daughter, and then English 6, this is for my son. We're using BJU Press, and y'all, we love it. We love it. I love BJU Press. I love the approach. I love the curriculum. This is a very thorough and comprehensive curriculum, and it's just awesome. I love the fact that for each chapter, they take a unit study approach, the concepts build. I just love it. It's awesome. I have nothing negative to say. I have taught, wow, it's kind of crazy to say, I have now taught BJU English 3 and 5, and now we're doing 4 and 6, and it's just fantastic. And I feel like I can see how well it builds as they grow. So anyway, I really do love it. Okay, for math, we use teaching textbooks. Same thing. We love teaching textbooks in our house. It's going really well. No complaints. So we're just going to move on along. Okay, what do I have right here? Let me just share this. This is a change that I have already made. This is Typing 1 for Annabeth. This is the Typing 1 book from The Good and the Beautiful. This just is not working for her. It's just not. So what I did after about 2 weeks is I logged on to, what is it called? The Typing Club. Is that the free resource, the free website? So I got on their website, made an account, and it's working. It's awesome for her. This right here, this approach, this curriculum did not work. This is the second year we've tried to use it, and I don't know why I tried to get her to do it this year. I guess it's because I had it, but now I know my son can do this, but she cannot. Typing Club is working wonderful for her. So that is one change I've already made. Okay, well, that was an elective for her. We'll talk about Spanish. My son is doing Spanish. He is doing Spanish through Rosetta Stone. I have an app on my iPad, and we both love it. Now, it has worked for him. It took a couple of weeks for him to find his groove and his rhythm, but now that he has found it, I can see the fruit, and I can't wait to tell you where I'm seeing the fruit, but we love it. I'm so thankful that it is something that he can do on his own with the iPad and that I don't have to teach it because I can't speak Spanish, so I have no idea how you would teach Spanish. So anyway, that's an update on 2 electives. What do I want to talk to you about now? Let's talk about history. We are using the Mystery of History Level 1. We actually just completed today Lesson 16. Y'all, I love this. Now, we are not using it the way that you can use it, right? Like this is history and geography. We are not using the geography component, nor are we doing every activity. We are doing the reading. We are also doing the, it's not really a quiz, but basically what did you remember? And we're doing the pretest, and it's working. Like, we are 6 weeks into it, like I said, and I can see the retention. I also love the amount of time that it takes to spend on this. I only have to give 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to history, and we're moving on. And again, it's something we can do together. So this is definitely a hit. I'm really glad we went with this year. Okay, moving on to geography. So history and geography are separate in my house. I do that intentionally for the sake of homeschool hours, and this year I decided to go with My Father's World, Exploring Countries and Cultures. I did purchase this last year during their Black Friday sale. I bought the basic package, and I just kind of pieced the curriculum together. Now, what I want to say about this, we love this. The first 2 weeks were not the easiest, and I have heard from my friend Kristen and from the Facebook group that the first 2 weeks are the hardest to get through. But once you get through the first 2 weeks, it's just downhill from there. It gets better and better with every week, and I agree with that. I love this. If I had younger children, this would definitely be something I continue with. And if I also lived in a state where I didn't have to count homeschool hours, I would use this as it came. And what I mean by that, you know, the science and the art and everything, you know, just the whole box. I think that it is fantastic that they include all of those things within their schedule. So nothing bad to say about this, all good. It is a little bit more teacher intensive as far as, reading and prepping and planning. However, I love it. And now that we're 6 weeks into it, I can just kind of see the reason for the method. Does that make any sense? And what I also love about this curriculum is just how mission minded they are. It always goes back to missions. It always goes back to the Lord. And I love that. Because for our children, when it comes to, their worldview, I want them to have a worldview that includes eternity. And yes, everyone is different. The whole world is different. Every country is different. Yet God still calls us to fulfill the Great Commission. We are to go to all of the nations and share the gospel. And I love their approach when it comes to that topic. Now I want to talk about the science part of My Father's World. This is the science that comes with exploring countries and cultures. You're going through the properties of an ecosystem. Then they enrich it with this book. This is the Usborne Living World Encyclopedia, and I believe this is the revised version. This has definitely been good. Now, we just touch on the topics. Like right now we're in Mexico, so we're learning about the desert, and we touch on it. I definitely think it is enriching what we're learning about Mexico. However, this book is my favorite. I really, really do love this. This is a living book, and it is just full of information. My kids even love it, and I can definitely see how these two complement each other well. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you want to kind of make your own, maybe you could do something like this, but I love these two together. I don't know if I would love this as much without this. Okay, so keeping with the science theme, we are using God's design for life. Now, first let me say, I think that this is great curriculum. I think the content is fantastic. I love that it teaches science from a biblical worldview. I love how they teach you the facts about science, and they also teach you what the Bible has to say about science. I love it. However, what we are struggling with in our household with this curriculum is the fact that I'm doing it with a 6th grader and 4th grader. So this curriculum is set up to be done family style. It's intended for grades 3 through 8th, and I do think that the material in here is appropriate for that. However, my son and my daughter are both very different, and I should have taken that into consideration. I believe that they are both retaining the content. However, my daughter can only take it too far, and that is not what I like about it, because I only have 2 children. I've got one who can take it further and the other one who cannot. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. It is not affecting us enough for me to change it. I have tweaked it a little bit. However, at this point, I'm kind of on the fence as to what we will do about this next year. Now, we're 6 weeks in. I really don't need to be thinking about next year. However, the challenges that it has presented for my 4th grader is causing me to reconsider what I thought we might be sticking with. So, that's what I have to say. But again, let me say, this is fantastic. I love the content. I love the curriculum. But for my 2 students and their learning styles, I don't know if this is something that I should be doing with the both of them. I think if my son was doing this on his own, he would be soaring, and he is soaring. However, since we're doing it as a group, I feel like we're a little confined. I never thought I would say that, but yeah, I feel like we are a little confined. And that's not easy for me to say. So anyway, that's our 6-week update. Again, I'm not changing it. We're going to stick with it. Kind of wanted to tell you where we are with this. Okay, so that's all of our regular stuff. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Friday. We don't necessarily do a fun Friday. We do an enrichment Friday, and we do that so that we can get our hours. Now, what does that look like? We do our spelling test. We do creative writing. We do a little bit of math, not a lot, and if we have an English test, we do that on Friday as well. But our main focus for Fridays is astronomy, and we are using Apologia for astronomy, and we are also focusing on art. Both of these things, we love them. We love them so much. I think that this is exactly what we needed for our Fridays. It's just enough, but not a lot, and it's something that we're all enjoying together. For The science, I did pick up the notebooking journals, and y'all, I'm actually pretty impressed with these things. There is a lot here, and obviously we will not use all of them. I will show you what we are using when it comes to the lessons. Let me get to something we haven't done here. So this is lesson 7, the study of Mars. I do have them take notes as I'm reading. That's definitely a skill I'm trying to teach them. And we also do the, where are they? The mini books. Y'all, these are so much fun, and it definitely allows me to see how much they are retaining. And there's quite a few for each lesson, and my kids enjoy doing them too. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. We have never done anything by Apologia, and we're definitely loving it. We're loving the notebooking journal, and we are loving this material. So that's what I want to say about that. Art, I think art speaks for itself. This is intended to be done twice a week, but I actually combine those lessons and we do art once a week. It's actually one of the last things we do on Friday, and it has been so much fun. In this curriculum, you also have artist study as you learn about the different elements. So this has been so much fun, and we love it. Okay, there's one more thing I forgot to grab. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, another change that I made to our Fridays is I had said earlier that I wanted to incorporate some type of music, and I had settled on Squilt. Well, I unsettled on Squilt. I unsettled on it for a couple of different reasons. Number one, it was the commitment, and number two, it was the price tag. At the end of the day, I just couldn't see myself spending that much money. So I did a little bit of research because I wanted to incorporate some type of music and composer study, and what I decided to go with are these narration CDs. I actually purchased these from My Father's World. Right now we are studying Handel, and I love it. So there are 2 CDs that come with this. This one is the actual narration of his story, and the next CD is full of all his music. So I actually put this on Fridays while we're doing our art, and it has been awesome. Again, one less thing I don't have to read. It's not that I don't like to read, but I am reading a lot. So anytime I can take that off my plate, I'm definitely doing it. And y'all, we love it. Another change I've made to our Friday. Something else I incorporated, this is the last update. This is a really long video. I hope it's not this long when I edit it. I did decide to go ahead and purchase the reading comprehension packs from Abeka for both of my kids. This is something we're doing on Friday, and again, I just want to make sure we are practicing those comprehension skills, and it's working. It only takes them a few minutes. It takes me a minute to grade it, and we move on. They only do it once a week, so there's no intimidation, and I also allow them to see their progress, and y'all, they get pretty excited to see how much time they do it in and how many they get right. So I'm really glad we're doing that this year. It's something I want to keep doing, especially for my son as he is a middle schooler and is preparing for high school, and it is something I'm definitely still working on with my girl. So anyway, friends, this is my 6-week update. I hope that kind of gives you an idea of where we are, what we're doing, what we're learning, what we're liking, what we're not really liking, what we've had to change, what we've had to adjust. And remember to go check out my friend Kristen's channel. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.